a team that was really good for the last 2 years under Toronto Ultra, and then the opposite side proved that you made the right move on building the team around Hydra. And already off to a good start is Mr. Paco Taco. 5-2. They're starting off on the better side. Great time off P1. All you have to do is make sure you're maintaining that green side.
Many nicknames given to that man, Hydra. The French phenom as well is one that's become a common theme. But no, as we said, both teams a lot to prove when it comes down to this series, more specifically for New York, as Hydra off to a very rapid start. Was not able to convert a lot of that slang in the last match, but boy, has he come out firing. Currently, it's Toronto with preferred spawns for next, but it is fair to say, Jay, NYSL, those guns are firing hot.
Yeah, especially Hydra so far starting off the game like 5-1. The only thing is you gave up that green control. You did a great job of just fighting for about 15 seconds off P1, slayed all around the middle of the map. But then you allow Toronto Ultra to break through Hedge's side. So now they're going to be fully set up on this P2. NYSL going to decide to attack this through that barbershop alley. Going to send 3 players on that side. One player slowly trying to push it through middle tunnel. The kills just have to go in their favor because this is going to waste a lot of time.
A few accidental shots, I think, coming in from the side. This is really where comms come into play for NYSL, but they are getting shut down in every single part of the lane. However, quickly off the spawn, here they come. 3 fall for New York, and now 3 fall for the side of Toronto. The Subliners brush on in for the bottom side of the Cantina. Kleenex not ready to hand this one over just yet, Jay.
Yeah, Fondo 25, a huge one-on-one. He's not going to be able to find that player in skies, but it's going to be Toronto Ultra early off the rotation. Hydra is just winning gunfight after gunfight every time I see him on my screen. Already started off the game at 9-5, more kills than his entire team combined. But the only thing is they do not have rotation. So once again, New York had to try to execute the break on another Bunny Hill in 10. As Standy's going to be the first cutoff man for Toronto Ultra. He's not able to find that first kill, and already New York had the trade advantage.
Kleenex in forward hand, not a common sight, but he's absolutely going to be called upon as 3. Make it all 4 for NYSL. Running strong with Hydra, leading the way for the team. This guy is an engagement magnet. Eventually falls, and Toronto can be happy at the fact that they survived what was a very aggressive NYSL wave.
Yeah, if you're Toronto, as long as you stayed efficient in the trades, you will be able to get some good time. But NYSL, they're able to find an opening, but Scrappy is able to find 2. Shut down that pressure towards 10. 25 uncontested seconds are going in favor of the Ultra. And look at the rotation. Once again, Toronto Ultra are just ahead of the game, but the kills are in favor of New York.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, though. I mean, it feels like in the last series, NYSL really struggled to, have their kills really count. And I guess that's really what you want to see in this series. It's great, right, that we're seeing streaks happen from somebody like Hydra, but it's really a matter of what do those kills actually mean in the long run. At least for right now, it has converted them to a rotation at barbershop. Kleenex trying to lead the way right now for the squad. He and Insight together are actually able to successfully break this, and it's off the back of a nice double coming in from Scrappy. The great rookie trying to have himself an official first starting W. Back and forth we go, and currently it is New York dominating inside a barbershop.
And New York do a great job of just finding those kills in towards the hill. Last player up, which is going to be Scrappy, was the guy that was trying to attack this from gate side, but Priest finds himself on a force spree. The Death touched on it. They want this guy to step up to a whole different level. Didn't really have the best performance yesterday, but overall New York did not as an entire team. So they're starting off a lot better today, at least in the slaying department. We just have to get some better holds and make sure we're on top of these rotations, especially on a map like Mercado Las Almas.
Oh, I give it like an 8 out of 10, Jay. It was really good.
Okay.
It's way better than mine. It was way better than mine. There's no doubting about that. But Scrappy trying to put in the work again, as we mentioned, did not have the series that he wanted to in terms of the results. Already kind of the early favorite for Rookie of the Year. Toronto Ultra got to be thrilled to have this guy on the roster, but he's going to have to be ready. It's like we said, NYSL, dude, it just feels like every time we're on their perspective, we got players dolphin diving, they're sprinting on to these hard points, and it feels like every time that we see them, they are all together. 4 quickly in toward this 10 alley, as the trades are currently working out in their favor. A small advantage, but one nonetheless.
I don't know about you, Lando, but there's just so much going on the damn map. Every time we switch a perspective, there's kill after kill, someone flying off a top rope, but finally NYSL execute another break in towards middle courtyard to give themselves a nice, comfortable 20 to 30 second lead. Now they have to try to execute this break in towards top green. An initial kill is going to start off with Kleenex. Finds that kill in towards Barbershop. Great job from him to just back up, play his life. It's way more valuable.
It's so funny too, man. It's like it's engagement heavy. It's mad. It's like players are moving at like 120 miles per hour. Yet we have like 5 hard points that work as money hills. It feels like so reverse for what you would expect. Engagement heavy, high octane type of gameplay. His Insight just tries to survive the wave. Currently, Toronto doing a great job at locking down some early seconds. They've identified exactly where New York, their main point of entry, is going to come from. A rather unfortunate team kill comes in from the Ultra, but another lead change. Let's step aside actually and go to the comms now with the Ultra.
Name past you guys, right? Top. Name past you.
I'm good. Keep on our low pinch. Dead, one more. Weak. One more shot. I know bullets. I'm stunned mid, by the way. Oh my god, that guy's off. One new. You have time?
Yeah, go.
I'm literally stunned mid heady. I'm going P4 dead.
How you going?
I'm helping you P4.
Already.
Gate. Chunk gate. Mid. P4 truck. Dead. P4 truck.
Stay alive. They're already gonna be. I spawned pallets.
Yeah, he's sitting, laying on the, like, on the half wall. Yeah, he's P4. Chunk out back alley. I do.
On dark. Alright, fucking ladder, sorry. He's laying down ladder.
Back alley, he's pushed top house now.
Dead?
I just top house. One's hill, one's people watching over him hill.
Yep. Let's go.
Shot it. I saw him mid. Close right on me.
They're low scrap.
Laying out close. I needed him. I stuck him. Sit down.
Mid heady.
Is this trophy?
Really mid heady. Priester.
Guy's like close. Behind the RV.
I don't see him.
On the RV one shot.
Mike on the wall.
RV absolute. Nothing
I
gained.
tried down two RV.
Come. I'm over.
He's behind the RV and one pack alley. Like from right.
RV channeling. I'm one shot. He's channeling out RV still.
Step close.
Oh, he's close. Dead. Nice. Stay up. Finesse.
On the car left.
Yeah, I died. One's like close left.
See the car
On the
carrying?
car. I've got killed people. He's on the RV and one's the left side car.
Left side car still. 15. And top wall. Mid heady.
Right.
Michael bait the pallets over there.
Nice little check-in there with the Toronto Ultra. And really, Jay, one of the biggest things that we've talked about with Toronto previously is how calm the comms typically sound. But I don't know. It's like one thing that I've noticed, it feels like with Toronto, maybe not as, calm feeling a little bit, but you got some younger voices in there now too.
Yeah, there's definitely not any breathing exercises going on that side of the squad. But you can just tell the difference in intensity. Scrappy didn't really have any of those big moments. I was expecting him to be roaring. But when you cannot execute a break on that P7, makes it a lot more difficult. But enough of him. Let's talk about Priesta on a 5 spree, sitting at 17 and 13. Really stepping up for this NYSL team as he beams Insight out of top 3.
All right, P-Dog, this is what we've been waiting for, man. Like, it just feels like the last few seasons hasn't really been the game for him, but New York, they invest in him. They're excited to see what kind of play that he can bring to the squad. By no means played well in their 3-0 loss versus London, but one of the players that we called upon, one of the biggest players that I think the desk was waiting to see today, and so far early on in this hard point, he has helped make the difference. A current 20-plus point advantage right now from NYSL. It appears that we are going to have a kill streak coming in over at the Cantina. Precision at least is able to find. Oh, wow. All 4 players. Technically, it is a team kill, but I mean, I guess it's a quad nonetheless.
That is a beautiful break. All on the back of the airstrike coming in from Priesta. Gets 3 people inside of the building. That's some very strong bullets that are going through that entire green building that executes now for NYSL to find that break. All of Toronto trying to attack this through Hedges side. New York are just starting to grow this lead closer and closer to that 250-point mark. If you're Toronto, this is a break you need to get. You cannot cut your losses here, but Priesta finds another 2 in the feed.
Oh, but Hydra's still alive. The trades are working out well. The old SMG duo from Subliners last year is still alive and kicking, and that is a solid hard point, basically a full 60 over at the Cantina. And take a look at what that does to the score. Puts a much bigger emphasis in a much needed full 60 in response. Now for Toronto, hunker down. Insight first wave down.
Yeah, Toronto, we need to get a great hold here. An Insight drop in that position is not the best case scenario. Now he's going to spawn all the way across the map. Scrap does find one, but now it's all left up to Standy. Standy unfortunately gets 3-piece by Skies, and NYSL on a map that's so damn hard to break a lot of these hard points, they find another.
They're making it look easy, Jay. They're making it look simple. 10. It felt like Toronto had it perfectly set up, but now the Bulldog has started to arrive. Just a few more seconds for New York, and this game 1 is theirs. Have yet to grab one so far throughout this season, and this looks like a convincing one here on Mercado. Last few seconds. Toronto, they jump in for a moment, but it's only going to add to the stats of NYSL. Game 1 Mercado goes their way.
And if you were worried about NYSL having those jitters from their very first match of the season where they got 3-0'd, those are completely out the window. They threw that match away. That match did not happen for this NYSL team. They played that game not to perfection, but they did what was needed to do. Every time they needed to respond on a great hill to get back into the game, it was that P7. That P7 side for Toronto is in certain situations where I feel like they're playing really slow. We saw in that series versus Minnesota a huge one-on-one between Scrappy and Afro.
Yeah,
that goes a different way. They probably walk away with the map. So New York need to show me something that this team is the real deal in Search.
Interesting little call off the rep here for NYSL. Okay, I was gonna say, I thought the bomb was actually dropped intentionally, maybe for Priest to come on back. However, a little slow out of the gates, but not slow when it comes down to top bedroom. Stun tossed out. The rookie doesn't know which way to turn, and now he has made quick work of first blood for Subliners. Bomb planted down.
Wow, this has been a super aggressive round to start us off. And New York already in the 4v2. Hydra's maintaining top bedroom control, takes down Kleenex. Now it's all left up to Insight. He is infamous for his S&D clutches. The 1v4 is not going to be easy, especially when your dead silence isn't developed.
Okay, for a moment they lined up, but that would definitely be one of the, I think that'd be top of the list in terms of clutches throughout his entire career. I think he had the most last season, but that one would already be at number 1. Kismet tagged up, but that is his 3rd kill of the round. And to be honest, man, I mean, when we talk about what he was able to do for this team last year when he was added to the roster, I felt like his impact was felt in a number of different game modes, but Search Destroy was absolutely up there.
Oh yeah, without question. Everything that Kismet did for that NYSL roster last year to give them the miracle run to make it the champs, it was all Kismet. When it came down to S&D, when it came down to respawns, he was getting the objective, picking up the kills, and communicating. The guy was Mr. Do It All. And he sets the tone off the rip with 3 kills.
If you have Krim taking orders from you, like if Krim's willing to listen to you, that definitely says a lot. But into round number 2 we go. The sides will flip. Toronto now will be on the attack, and thankfully for them, they are able to answer with the first blood. So Hydra, the French phenom, out of the picture. Bit of a sweat off the brow situation if you are the boys in purple. Priest currently positioned toward bottom lights as angles aplenty. I say one SMG is gone, but Kismet is still here. Oh my goodness, walks away with 2, and he has got Toronto's head spinning now.
Oh, Kismet's got them working. He was able to finesse his way in towards that single arch, get the timing to get the first, and then turn on the second. Scrap does take down 1, 2v2. It's looking like the bomb is going to start rotating over towards this B site, and this might catch these NYSL players off guard as they're fully set up for a bedroom A plan.
Oh yeah, Kismet's going to invest the dead silence, thinking that surely there's going to be a push over at A, and Scrappy just catches out Priesta. I believe that's over toward the plat. He gets instantly dropped, and now this makes this round that much more difficult for Kismet to try and convert. And right now he sits on a 5 spree. I don't know if you want to try to play for the streak in this type of situation, but spots out the first, not be able to do it, able to walk inside of the site. However, nades, everything, and the kitchen sink thrown at him, and that 5 spree will come to an end as Toronto answer in our second round.
Yeah, that was good plays from Toronto. Once they found themselves in that 3v2 situation, Kismet does get out with his life, but when he starts to wrap back towards his team, Scrappy is able to find one, turn it to a 2v2, then pop that dead silence to get all the way across the back towards that B bomb. Kismet, I thought he played it great. He did everything that he could. He tried to check every single angle, but when both of the players are pushed out towards the back of your spawn, the bomb is planted 4 back doors. Not an easy clutch. Also does not earn that kill streak, so Toronto tied up at 1.
And a great one of the final kills coming in from Scrappy makes that 2v1 end up being possible, and he gets peppered once more to the top bedroom. In round number 1, he was stunned off the rip. NYSL, and they are just playing with a new level of pace. Hydra rocks out dead silence, rushes through lights, and this time he's going to get found out by Toronto. I think they're starting to figure out what the strategy is, Jay.
That's just a one-man army play out of Hydra. You can't allow that to happen. You got great positioning on the map by just getting towards bottom lights. You can just stay alive instead of trying to give up your life for free, and now you put your team into disadvantage. 2 players from NYSL trying to work in towards B. Skies does pick 1 through the middle of the map. He also has the bomb carrier, but the timing right there for Kismet. cannot find a kill, but Priest evens it up. 2v2.
Still a decent amount of time to work with. A or B, take your pick. Insight actually works out great. Great cover fire set up between these two new teammates. Oh, and Standy will put him to bed. I think there are even more team shots toward the end. Some solid work there out of the Toronto 2. And you already see Scrappy. He's barking out callouts, talking about what happened in the last round and setting up for the new one. Hey, you see strays coming in from multiple angles. Great work there for Standy at Inside to clutch it up for the squad.
Yeah, Toronto just had the positioning. Once KingLex puts himself in towards that B bomb, takes down Kismet, you put yourself in the advantage already. Turns it to a 2v2. You get a couple shots down onto Priester. You're able to get him at mid connector as he was trying to rotate out. But that play just simply all comes back to what Hydra did. If Hydra stays alive in that situation, they probably get the bomb down towards A. Totally different round.
See Standy with the bomb in hand. He had some amazing numbers in Vanguard when he had that objective in his grasp.
Right.
How does that not connect for Skies? I am on his side. That should be a first blood. Oh, that one doesn't hit either? Oh, 0 for 3. It's not your day, Skies. Put it away. I don't know what's going on. That had to have hit, Jay. Am I crazy?
I thought the first one hit. The last two were kind of, it's a little bit to the left and right, but it's okay. Look at the positioning, though, from KleanX. Finds himself in towards bottom bedroom. He knows that a player is going to be to his left in lower lights. But Insight's ready with the snipe. He said, you missed me 3 times. It only takes me once. Finds that first blood. Standy with the second. And immediately Hydra with the trade. 3v1. All left up to Paco.
Honestly, it feels like a little bit of tunnel vision there for Skies. It's like, okay, I should have hit the first shot. Then I continue to miss.
Oh. He's
eventually gets found out. But yeah, Hydra, man. Still alive, still thriving. He's got a long way to run, however. And he's got 2 players that know roughly where he's going to be coming from.
Oh, nope.
Pops out dead silence. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Spots out one. And Insight is right here. Hydra has got to know something. Dead silence is still here. Rocks out the sun. Oh, you've got to be kidding me, Hydra. It felt like he didn't have a chance in the world and just gets to the bomb site in time. A sigh of relief as he will walk through with the clutch. Unreal. And I think he's giving a high five to the teammates, and I don't even think Thieves can believe it either. Nobody can believe what just happened.
None of those players on that screen can believe it just now. A 1v3 from Hydra. Obviously, Toronto, we made a lot of mistakes there. In the 3v1, we all have to be sitting basically next to each other, so we put ourselves in a trade situation. Once that player gives up his life in towards the middle of the map for free, it becomes a way easier round for Hydra to try to do it, but it plays right into what he wants to happen. Beautiful pop of the dead silence, gets that first kill, and then plays it so patiently, also uses the stun to get that information. What a clutch out of Hydra.
He emptied the pockets at the perfect time. I thought that round was over. I was talking about something else.
Yeah.
And then Hydra just comes through with an unbelievable 1v3. We'll say hello to the top 5. This guy's makes the elbows a little bit more raw. It's a decently sized rug burn, but here we are, round number 5. Standy is right next to somebody. Nearly tags up Skies as he'll get out of dodge for the moment. You can see where the arrows from NYSL are pushed up. They are all over P1 as Kismet looks to get aggressive.
Yeah, Kismet, he got the timing. He's about to earn his dead silence, but it's not going to be enough as Insight with the repositioning read the play beautifully. Finds that first blood, so now 30 seconds to work with. NYSL have to commit towards either one of these sites. It's looking like it's going to come in towards B. One player in KleanX is at least able to spot one, but the action is all about to go down right now.
Stuns tossed out. KleanX looks to get a different vantage point. So here they come. New York. Oh, KleanX, he thought he was trying to leave. He was trying to get out. And here we go. They'll find a few picks in a row. All on to Insight and Standy now. Lovely little pick. They were able to work together so well last time. Nice little engagement as well again for Insight. Skies, it all comes down to him. Last time it was Hydra, and now it's his turn.
30 seconds. Does not have that silence to work with. Toronto will just playing this patiently just in case they get any sound cues of where he potentially might be. Right now, Skies is playing this beautifully. All you have to do right now is just get this guy off bomb and play your life.
Here comes the first. Standy able to win it. And again, it's clutch after clutch. Insight and Standy working together beautifully as they will punch in the digits and thankfully are able to rebound after what was a very difficult pill to swallow in that 1v3 from Hydra just a round to go.
Yeah, definitely in a bounce back round that was needed for Toronto Ultra. Even though they were in the man disadvantage, they do a great job of just eliminating Hydra from the back of their base, forcing it to a 2v2. And then as soon as that bomb gets planted, Insight from side door finds that kill on Saprista. Just waste the clock out. They double chow in towards cat room. Standy's able to win the gunfight to close out the round. Toronto Ultra currently up 3-2. Just can't allow any of these clutches to happen anymore. Like, that was unacceptable.
I know, it'd be 4-1, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Regardless, they find themselves still with a slight advantage back on the attack, and it could be an early push over toward that B site. As we know, way more common, and nobody, and I mean nobody for New York, was looking in that direction of which Kleenex began to strike. So enamored by that A site, and it could come back to bite them.
Yeah, New York 4-stack over towards that A site and they didn't get any information. Why is no one deciding to wrap out? Hydra just gets shot in his back for free. And Kleenex is not slowing down. Finds another kill onto Priest. Disguise does take down one with the snipe onto Insight. Gets his revenge. But look at that bomb. All the way wrapping back towards A. Catches the NYSL players off guard. 3v2. 45 seconds to work with now.
And this is a Toronto special. I mean, this is what they've been known to do even since Cold War, right? Just a constant rotation between either the zones in control or the sites in S&D. NYSL heads on a swivel, and somehow Kismet manages to escape. Nice little dolphin dive. He's been doing it all game long, but he still has a bomb to defuse. He and Sky is going to have to work together. Back to back we go. It's been a game so far of clutches. Can they find another 1v3? Time not on his side. And this is going to be a round for the Ultra.
Just another perfect attacking round. Coming out of the Ultra. You work all the way through B. Obviously, NYSL, they 4-stack towards that A site. So when you get that first blood with the guy not even looking at you, it makes your job a whole lot easier. The Toronto Ultra silent the noise from that 1v3 clutch from Hydra and now put themselves in a comfortable 4-2 lead.
What's impressed you the most, I guess, so far about Toronto? Because again, you know, they struggled, right? Versus Minnesota. It was a close game on Hotel S&D. What do you feel like has been the biggest difference? Is it something Toronto's doing right or something that New York's doing wrong?
I think it's their patience. I think Toronto Ultra, they're playing with the information that they're receiving. So right there, as soon as they know they're giving up a position, they have someone that's going to watch that position just in case that timing is off. So they're just filling the gaps really well, playing their numbers advantage besides that 1v3 correctly. And so far, I've been playing some phenomenal S&D.
It's the one, but yet very bold mistake that you happen to make in the search and destroy. Well, I'll forget about it, though. I'm sure, you know, once the game is concluded. No, in all seriousness, we're gonna be looking at that one for a while. Sorry, Ultra fans. Here we go. Trades are in. NYSL quickly with numbers here in this round number 7, as they've got full control over at that A site. There's been a lot of noise across the map, but Insight, he could be one to strike. Skies. He dolphin dives. It's almost as if he knew exactly where Insight was. But so far, it has been the Insight and Standy show. Here they go again. Another episode, 2v3.
The only thing that can come back and bite NYSL is the positioning of the bomb plant. Actually, no, it stretched out to the left. They're solid. They have full bedroom control. You have bottom lights. You have top plat. Someone on Toronto has to try to make a play. Insight is trying to do that, but with the sniper pistol in hand, very difficult to win any of those gunfights. NYSL respond with a massive round to not let this game get away from them. Now down 4-3.
It's so funny, Jay. This is like, okay, there's a chance. Oh wait, the bomb's planted there. All right, yeah, it's kind of over. Like it almost felt like as soon as Toronto looked where the bomb was, it was like, okay, yeah, this is not going to be easy. But still, man, there's a little situation right where Insight, he's got that snipe out. He knows that Skies is planting the bomb. Pixels ultimately make the difference. Dolphin dives away. And while we don't have the slide in this game, it still feels like the dolphin dive absolutely has gotten many players out of sticky situations so far throughout opening weekend. But New York, they win the swing round. They're still alive, still kicking. And that gun is definitely kicking now. Kismet Give it a nice little stun to the face. As I said, dolphin dives on dolphin dives. It's Kleenex who comes out on top of the opening engagement. Only player in ear's distance at this site is Hydra, and I don't know how Kleenex does that.
Now for New York, you don't want to overcommit. You don't want to over-challenge. Just keep the positionings that you have. As Toronto Ultra able to catch 2 players overextending. What went from a 3v4 is now a 3v1. Toronto Ultra, once again, led by that first blood. Hit that late rotation, catch a couple players trying to be a little bit over-aggressive. And make the round look easy. Game point for the Ultra.
Yeah, man, just a bit overzealous. Toronto, they show the cards. NYSL, you know, peeks around the corner, says, what do you got there? Right as they do that, the Ultra slaps him on the wrist. A great little play coming in from Toronto. As we said, an organization that has just been incredible. One of the best franchises that we have seen in this very mode throughout CDL history. And they're looking great. Currently in this Hotel S&D. Inside, is he going to try to go for the spot? Yes, he is.
Oh, I like this spot.
I think I saw Standy do this like in like one of the first few days of the game being out. So a passing of strategy. We saw Standy have some very interesting little moments. I think it was on like Tuscan S&D last year. They're bringing it out again.
Yeah. Whoever put that TV on the wall, that's a great wall mount.
It's pretty sturdy, huh?
Yeah, it's not budging at all. Kleenex finds that first blood onto Hydra. But all the action from the rest of his teammates is going to go down towards B. Insight in his position. If I'm him, all you want to do is at least get 1 kill if you do end up dropping. But all of NYSL, they're waiting for their dead silence to pop before the play happens. Skies and Kismet, it's activated. Here comes the attack.
Oh, it works out perfectly. It works out flawlessly. Ends up finding the 2-for-1 trade as New York confused. They just saw Insight fly in from the rafters. 40 seconds to go. Best of luck to Kismet. Able to find the first, but the white flag is out, and that will be the search and destroy. The little plays at the end. Toronto, well seasoned in this game mode. There's been a lot of questions on.
They're up on the point is Cammy. They allow that guy to stay alive so long that his teammates eventually get back into the play, and then Minnesota were able to walk away with it. So if you ask me, Toronto Ultra basically choked that map yesterday. So hopefully make the adjustments going into today. And then in the opposite side for New York, they just played. I understand it was a totally different map, but they played 2 steps ahead instead of focusing on the task at hand. They were a millisecond from capturing B, a millisecond from capturing A, 17-8 on a defensive round, and threw it away. So you have to make sure you're playing close, playing your numbers correctly, and playing with some damn teamwork.
And make sure that your comms are prepared for this guy as well if you're Toronto. I mean, my goodness. Hydra instantly finds the lane through middle, rounds the corner, and just like that, NYSL have complete control, well, for a moment, over at that B zone. A few members off the spawn are going to be there a tad late, but this is what we can come to find common on LSCLO J. Some far out spawns for both sides, and it can be especially punishing for the defensive end.
Yeah, but Toronto Ultra, at least they found a couple kills. They basically forget about Skies. They have no idea that he is in this position. So while all of his teammates are trying to attack through mid, it's only 35 seconds on the clock. We eventually have to get on one of these points. Skies gets a big kill on eliminating Kleenex from that green area. Now this is going to allow NYSL to sprint forward towards that B point.
You can see, really, I mean, it's basically all of Toronto established inside of the middle building. Have to be aware of those windows, those doorways, but it's Scrappy who puts in the work. That's going to be 2. Skies with a very, very solid shot. Has got to be aware of the point. They're trying to transfer. He's got a few of his teammates now going over toward that A zone, but the streak will live on, but for a short moment. 5-0 is ultimately the count, and because of the separation that New York had, there is now only 1 player near that objective. It's going to be Hydra. Only 5 seconds on the clock, and Jay, they've got to do something. This round is about to be over, and they have no ticks to speak of.
Kismet's able to get on the point for now. Unfortunately, he gets traded. That's a very difficult round for NYSL because you start off with great map control. You get a couple kills, especially towards that field side. You could have just instantly hopped on B, especially with the positioning that Skies had. But when you allow Toronto Ultra to come off spawn, work through the middle, get a couple kills, and basically trap your teammates in your spawn, That's what makes it a little bit more difficult. Already, Toronto Ultra making the adjustments, dominate that very first defensive round.
And it kind of felt a little bit like the same situation for Subliners, like a little bit of the emphasis in terms of like, sometimes you're in the right spot, but you just need somebody to come and say, you know what, Skies, get out of that position. Or you know what, Hydra, start to move over here. It felt like they were on opposite sides of the map, and when they wanted to hit the right strategy, not everybody was there for the fight. It is all purple to start, including a team kill, but it is a worthy exchange at the least. A solid opening engagement for Toronto as they go standard. They go for the normal zone. When we talk about El Asilo, the much easier one of the two is that a zone, and we're seeing exactly why that's the case.
Already 2 ticks. 1 tick away. They only have 1 person on it currently, and Kismet's actually going to challenge this. Kismet finds all 3. Shuts down that pressure on that A point. What a play out of the Bulldog. You see his teammates all the way pushed up, basically outside of green. So 2 players are going to try to overextend through that side, but they have the entire map cut off. Gunnies up, irons up. All we have to do is just pick up our kills. Toronto Ultra are trapped in their spawn.
Irons up, and now Toronto have to run it back. Yes, that was intentional. I tell you what, man, like we talked about how it's punishing for defense. It is also very punishing for offense. There is a lot of open space here on El Asilo, and Kismet is going on a spree again. 4 in a row, and it's about his 90th Dolphin dive that he's hit so far of the series. Some great work coming in from him. It was Toronto seeing some early success, but NYSL has picked up the pace. 5 in a row right now from the Bulldog, but he's got more work to do. 3 members still strong for Ultra.
Unfortunately, he does get taken down, so now Ultra have a little bit more control of the map. They should be able to close out this A point and extend time by a minute. And look at the map control right now. Ultra do have control of green. So now if you are NYSL, this is a very crucial moment in the game. You need to make sure you're getting kills. It's a massive one from Kismet. Now he takes that map. That left side of the map pushes up towards green. It's now going to force all of Ultra to overextend and try to attack this through bottom mid.
This is huge. These picks are everything. That's a big double coming in from Hydra and Skies, the Val Pals, as we like to call them now. But Toronto ends up finding those picks, which they actually end up finding a few. He was going to put New York in a world of pain, but here we go. Kleenex able to drop a few. The SMG been put to good usage. Eventually falls, but he's earned Toronto. He's given his teammates a much better vantage point to work from.
Biggest kill right now on the map is taking down Hydra. Once you take him down, you know where everybody else is coming from. They're all spawning back left towards that AC building. Great shot from Sky to take down Scrap, but Toronto Ultra, they win the trade battle. The second tick is about to be in. They get the last player in. Priest, the closest player to the point, is going to be Hydra. Can he get there in time? I do not think so, but a nade comes over the top.
And that's going to be it. That's going to be it. The nade is nice, but you are so far off of spawn that it makes life incredibly difficult. And not only is that going to be Toronto up 2-0, but when we're talking about the tick advantage throughout the remainder of this game, it is 6-0. The definition of being in a hole right now is where Subliners find themselves. It's going to take a lot to dig themselves out now, Jay.
Yeah, New York down 6 segments. Basically going to have to win 2 offensive rounds if they want to try to win this CeeLo control. As the boys from Toronto are not making any mistakes, they find the right time to strike. Kleenex opens up with that massive 2-piece with the Vaznev.
Oh, goodness.
And talking about the Vaznev, great shots coming in from Standy. Fortunately, the trade is going to be there for Hydra. And this looks like NYSL, once again, are going to put that early pressure on towards B. Hydra has currently a lot of map control.
It just feels like that's what's been the name of the game so far for Hydra. Instantly finds like 3 or 4 kills off the rip. Gives his teammates that much more to work with. It's going to be a fun teammate to have, but now back to business we go. Toronto, they clean house. It was a solid effort off the start, and now Toronto are going to make them pay. A streak equaled out with an equally and probably more influential spree, as they've got New York pinned. Kleenex in a solid spot. Position no. New York have a lot of waves to clear. Trades back and forth we go as Standy ruling throughout the bottom pool house.
Oh, this is so tough. If you're NYSL to try to get out of your spawn, 30 seconds left until they end up getting 3-0 in another control. Another 2-piece. As long as Toronto Ultra are staying alive and winning these trade battles, They should be okay. NYSL have to try to find an opening, and Priest finding that kill onto Scrap should open up that 8 point. They will be able to stop this clock.
They look to be in a good position. Got players really at both zones, so Standy's gonna have to clear one at B. Meanwhile, there's also a lot of damage being done at A, and if Skies can stay alive, even better. Muy bueno there from Caesar Skies. His time's gonna be paused. A lot of ticks, a lot of segments already grabbed from the Subliners, and they're finding the picks exactly when they need to. An extra minute now added onto the clock, and one more segment to go. What looked like for a moment utter chaos, NYSL turns into 5 ticks and what could be a 6th. Minute still to go.
We have a big gunfight going in towards green. Kleenex trying to stay alive as multiple players from NYSL trying to take him out of this position. Priest does eventually take him down with the nade, so that's step 1 done. Now it's on Kismet, the player that's going to potentially set up this pinch. Does he decide to play for that spawn kill? Yes, he is. Great shots with the Vaznev, able to take him down long distance. And now NYSL have a lot of map control. You just have to eliminate these last 2 players that are going to be on the point. They get down 1, they take down the second. The stack is going to be in, and NYSL, just when I thought it was over, respond with a dominant attacking round for themselves.
And they needed that. They needed that as well. Like, obviously they're down 2-0, so you got to do something. But
yeah,
it looked convincing when it needed to be. Toronto, they wiped them away. They had them in the back of the base, and slowly but surely you saw NYSL kind of doing a similar strategy to what we saw Toronto do last time, right? Putting a body on A, putting a body on B. And Sky's really in that moment, right? Whenever he's the sole man on that B zone, stays alive, keeps things coordinated. But like Subliners, while they play just as aggressive, were at least able to make their kills count that much more. And here we go. Another round of control. Toronto just 1 away. Either they do it by kills or they do it by the segments. And it's Kleenex starting things off hot here in round number 4 with a double.
Early aggression on towards this 8 point. NYSL try to play defensively on it through bottom mid, and Kleenex just makes them look silly with that 2-piece. First tick is already going to be here for Ultra, so they have guaranteed themselves defense just in case it goes to this round number 5. That's going to be 3 dead. Look at the spawns for NYSL. They basically have to chalk this point up. It's going to be a 2-minute and 20-second hold at this B point. Can they do it?
Yeah, this one's done. This one's going to be done for sure. And as you said, NYSL, can they do it? 2 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. You're already starting to get in a little bit of a scary territory when we talk about lives. So New York definitely going to have to win a few of these trades. Here comes the first attempt. The only player behind enemy lines is Standy. He's going to try to provide as many comms for the squad as possible. And really, as long as he stays up, at least makes things a little bit easier for the squad mates. If he's not finding kills, that's okay.
Standy was the guy that was going to be the playmaker, but he does get taken down. And if you look at the mini map right now, Ultra have a lot of map control. So far pushed up, they don't have to worry about anyone on the pinch. They don't have to worry about anyone flanking or through green. So it's all about just trying to time these 4 kills at the same time, and the stack should come in. Kismet gonna try to work towards this late flank. Eventually he does get picked off, so now this is going to allow Standy to get pushed up. He knows that all of the rest of NYSL players have to commit towards the front, and inside with the flank finds 2. Now look at those spawns. It might be all done here, Lando.
Yeah, it very well could, Jay. Hydra, he's got to jump in. He ends up falling, and Standy, dolphin dive out of the point, my man. Jump on in. That's the stack. That's the round, and that is the game. All smiles across the faces of Toronto, as they're able to walk away with a very solid control victory. And it felt like at the very end, another little sign of aggression. You saw flank.
How to get some energy. You saw all the player cams for the players. It looked like no one was saying anything after that control. And that's where it really got scary for me when this team was formed. Who was going to be the guy to step up in these crucial moments? Who was going to be the leader to try to rally the troops back, to keep them focused on not losing this series? And it looked like no one stepped up. So NYSL just have to fight. They gotta fight and try to force game 5.
They do indeed, my friend. We go into Hotel Hardpoint game number 4. Toronto with the more preferred positioning for P1. However, NYSL with the overall better side, but you wouldn't know that based off of what I just said. Toronto grabbed the first 7 seconds. NYSL wipe everybody away from the objective, and this is some solid slaying.
That was beautiful. A beautiful break. Usually do not find a lot of success if you're spawning on bad side for this P1, but they get 3 dead in the feed, and they're maintaining spawns for the next. Beautiful start to this game. Kismet already at 4-0. All of Toronto Ultra have to try to overextend through bedroom. And Kismet's in a great position to at least cut them off for now. As the final couple of seconds will go to Ultra, but it's going to be NYSL fully set up off the rotation. He even gets a kill with the trophy. Now he's got an airstrike.
Oh my goodness, the guy really can't stop seeing success. But NYSL, we talked a lot about the comms. How are they going to sound? How motivated are they going to be? Let's find out. Let's go do a listen with the Subliners.
Wait, dead.
Chairs, wait.
I'm laying down. Watch your cross.
Chairs, one shot inside.
How many chairs?
Absolute chairs in the corner.
Stay down. Wait for the pinch.
Wait, what's up? Shut up.
Wait for the pinch.
Chairs.
Right side, weak for you.
Let's get chairs.
Let's get chairs.
He's lobby desk. He's waiting for me.
Yeah.
I'm nading him. He's
Hit the right. Go right. Hit the right.
P4. He's hitting lobby. Lobby, finish. He's doing
Lobby, I have him.
Nice, good fucking shit.
Apple. No, there's one here. No one
That's
there.
one left.
Good
Oh
shit.
my God.
Good shit.
Yeah, you
Might be
right.
You want storage. No, inside. Okay,
Alright,
two.
let's go around.
You guys
Storage and a new. Storage and a new.
Let's go left.
Go. Yeah. I'll bump out of time.
You know?
I'm starting couches.
I hear you. They might be wood.
I'm gonna go deep. Do you guys want to come all through mid or you go deep?
One's gonna go wood. I'm gonna go deep.
I can cut like mid side here.
I'm nading connector.
I don't see anything here.
I hit him.
Check our back left too.
Dubs standing. He's out of the play. He's gonna call us
Oh, yo, he's back kitchen. Deep end.
Yeah,
Oh, he's deep in. Oh, he's deep in.
Dead. Almost shot.
Deep end.
I'm dead.
Alright, good.
Where from?
Well, they're gonna
Dark
push
in the
out.
back.
They're gonna push out, I think.
Dark in the back. We're looking for one.
Connector.
Dark dead.
Nice. I'm watching storage.
One's wood.
And the comms for NYSL sound very energetic, but already a situation that I was hearing was that it sounded like there was 3 players calling out and Hydra's just calling out reactions. So communication is not all on point for NYSL, and that's a big crucial piece in this game. And you see how it's costing them. They cannot execute a braid on kitchen. Beautiful hold so far from Toronto Ultra to get themselves right back into this one.
Well, big 1v1 for about 20 seconds, and it is going to be Insight who's able to take it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the only thing I really heard from Hydra in that moment was, yeah, go. Like,
Yeah.
It was like a highlight of, again, the pace that we have continued to discuss. We talk about the Subliners. Well, we are 3 hills in, and it was a solid beginning for New York, but that is just really how that kitchen hardpoint will turn out for you. A full 60 machine. As Toronto do a great job of bringing themselves back into this game early on, but now it's time for Hydra to slay. A man of few words, but of much talent. That's without a doubt. Insight as well on the other side sits in a 5 spree. 2 players for either side working on streaks. The problem for Hydra, however, is that his teammates just lost the hill.
Yeah, his teammates all just dropped right behind him, no matter if he's holding down this bedroom control. But Skies and Priesta combined for 2, able to at least relieve that pressure for now. At least you would think so, but Scrap and Insight, they combined for 3. Priesta does find the final 2 piece to give NYSL this final 20. Make it 3. Great shots from P-Dog. Finds himself on a 4 spree. They're going to be able to maintain this lead, but they do not have that rotation. Toronto Ultra going to be fully set up for next.
Love to see that there at a Priesta. He's starting to wake up, and that's what happened on the opening Mercado. It was the Hydra show, and it was Priesta. Both of these guys were able to deliver, and now they're going to call upon both of them to try to break over here at the diner. Great work from Hydra. Skies as well, able to be there. That's going to be 2. Insight and Scrappy, however, have an excellent crossfire. It's 2 for one side, and it's about to be all 4 for the other. Toronto Ultra, they have taken down some teammates, but they dropped everybody from NYSL. Another lead change very well could be inbound.
30 seconds remaining on this diner hard point. We gotta make sure we at least trade efficiently if you're NYSL, and Kismet and Priesta combined just for that. So now with 20 seconds left, you're gonna force Toronto Ultra off that rotation towards back plat. Be fully set up here initially, but NYSL just growing that lead even more. Every time they execute a break, get this final 20 seconds. Ultra need to stop the bleeding right here and now.
Very contest heavy, a very aggressive start to this hotel hardpoint, but things begin to slow down. We talk about the parking lot. Scrappy holding one of the bigger lanes when we talk about this side of the map. Does eventually fall, but at least takes 1 with them, and that is an overall positive, especially if you have the spawns. Take a look at player, I think that's number 8 in Hydra, sneaking around, and he's going to be sniffed out. Great job there from Toronto. Again, when the game starts to slow down, it feels like it can start to go their direction, but here comes the nades, here comes the stuns, tacticals, utility, everything in the back pockets have been tossed. It seems like that is not going to break this Toronto setup.
Yeah, my guy Kleenex has been sitting in this corner the entire time. He's like, don't worry, guys. I don't need to do anything until the final 15 seconds. Get some greatly uncontested time. Ultra respond with a great hold. So far, that's 260 holds. One on kitchen, one on platform. To now give themselves a 25-point lead. Not going into this P1. If you are Toronto Ultra, you do not have the favorite spawns for that P2 setup. But you just want to soak as much as you possibly can off of P1. But Priesta, my God. What a two-piece.
That was excellent work. They're from Priesta and Kismet. What, you got the Bulldog and you got P-Dog. What happens when you got both of them? I don't know. A whole lot of barking. That's all I know. Sandy and Scrappy at least able to put in a few. Again, last time around, it was really Toronto who got some good early seconds, but it was New York that started to walk away with the overall point advantage. But back and forth we go. It is kill after kill after kill. Really just a pinstripe in terms of purple and yellow for the moment. Biggest emphasis, however, is that New York still hold on to those spawns for next. Toronto, as they wipe away those final few players, they're going to send all three, really the entire squadron now for the push.
Oh, this is a great break from Ultra to get this final couple of seconds off the P1 while two of their teammates rotated through Diner, pinched out the back, and potentially are going to flip NYSL. You see where they're spawning all the way at bedroom, so it's going to be a 2-on-2 battle. Ultra with early control. Priesta is trying to do everything he can to stay alive towards the back, try to maintain these spawns for his team, but Ultra are not worried about that at all. They're just getting as many seconds as possible. That's going to be 3. Last player up is going to be in the back. Do they read these spawns though?
We'll have to see. Scrappy sees someone right in the corner from the right. He may be aware of it. Somebody's at least able to get out. That's going to be Priesta. And this has just been clean work so far from Toronto. The spawns are closed, but it does not matter. And they're still going to spawn there. They're still spawning toward the top side of the map. It's going to be a race as Kleenex is set to head toward the kitchen as everybody is dolphin diving away, trying to escape the line of sight that Scrappy was holding. And while they will escape for the moment, it is not a hard point that you leave motivated by any stretch of the imagination. NYSL thought this was going to be their lead, but in fact, it is going to be Toronto's, as that's another 2 picks trying to break into the kitchen.
And that's early off the rotation as well. You cannot die off rotation. Now it relies on both of your teammates to win their gunfights. But Priesta and Kismet, they do just that. 3 dead, make it all 4. What a hold from those 2 players on NYSL to maintain control of this kitchen. Hard point, 45 seconds and counting. If you're Ultra, you just have to set up at least one good push. But your main objective here is to flip these spawns. You want to take control of the back. That's why you see Insight taking that long route through bottom bedroom. They are trading officially towards the back, and now the spawns do flip. So they could potentially not get the break here, but they did the big picture job.
Oh, but they might be able to win it. They actually might be able to win it here. Priesta has to contest. At least does just enough, but still, for NYSL, you got to push for every single point. And with that break, it puts Toronto in such a better headspace as they look to be in prime position now. New York, this has got to be a perfect hold now here at the desk.
Gotta go strong. You just have to win a couple gunfights off that rotation. They do just that. Oh my God, what a shot from Insight. Ultra have the man advantage. You also have one player sneaking around through back spa, so it's gonna be on Standy, the playmaker. Can he get it done?
The new addition to the roster. Can he help give Toronto their first W? He's able to put through 1, but that's arguably the most important kill of this hard point. Ends things out on a 5 spree, but boy, was his life helpful. And that will be the game. Toronto Ultra will close out the final 3 maps. It's the new addition in Standy who helps go big for the squad at the end. They get the break, and this series belongs to them. Their first W here in the MW2 season, and they will hand another loss the way of New York.
Toronto Ultra, the complete opposite of their very first series. Instead of taking that opening hard point, we will take the next 3 maps. Toronto Ultra displayed this hard point really, really well. Whenever they needed to have a response to where NYSL had a strong setup, the first go around, it was that P1 where NYSL got a good chunk of time. They chained a good chunk of time of that as well towards that P2. Ultra, they gave it up. They rotated towards Kitchen, got a full 60 to get themselves back in the game. But the turning point had to be that second rotation at P1. NYSL did a great job of just contesting that all the way down to the very end while maintaining spawns. But with about 25 to 30 seconds left, Toronto Ultra had 2 players sprint up through that diner area, work towards that flank, while their teammates also got those kills towards the middle of the map. They're putting a lot of pressure. They blocked that back spawn, which eventually spawns all of NYSL towards bedroom, already in the man disadvantage. NYSL just needed to play a little bit more safe. They needed to play a little bit more safe on some of these money hills, and they did not do that. Ultra, they capitalized on it. They made sure they won their gunfights off the rotation every single time and closed out this hard point. Now take the series 3-1. Great performance from them.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the entire second side was just all them, right? Our first few hard points, as you called, the P1, and then obviously they just keep slang, right? They keep slang despite New York being in the backside of the spawn. And really, it's a welcoming sight, right? To see this guy in Insight put in some work. A lot of people, right, thought he had a solid season in Vanguard, but without question, one of the best AR